Today I'd like to do a vehicle preps video, and this one's going to feature Tier 1 driver's side. So in the introductory video, I described how I was going to be breaking up my vehicle preps into multiple tiers based off of their priority. Everything in Tier 1 is going to be in the front row. So driver's side front row, passenger seat front row. And basically that's going to be stuff that I need immediate access to, mostly practical stuff, the stuff that's commonly used during your commute and things like that, as well as some emergency items that I just want to be able to grab very quickly. Everything in Tier 2 is then going to be secondary items, so things that are less frequently used, but still fairly important, and I can still reach them if need be in any kind of situation. And then Tier 3 is going to be everything in the back. So in the trunk area, the very back area, that's going to be some more of the roadside assistance type gear and other kind of emergency supply stuff that I probably don't need on a daily basis, but I might need in any kind of roadside assistance or emergency situation. So for this particular video, we're going to feature Tier 1 driver's side. So everything that's in my reach right over here. While I'm seated in the driver's seat, I have immediate access to a few different areas. Mainly I'm going to be using the steering wheel, of course. I'll also probably be using the stereo often, as well as having my cell phone magnetically mounted on this WizGear magnetic tool, which I'll provide a link on. So during my commute, these are going to be the main areas. But if need be, I also have immediate access to the door panel in addition to the visor. So in the visor, I have EDC Organizer up here, which we're going to go into in this video. Nothing too complicated in here. All just very practical stuff that I could access if driving. Also, we have the Rescue Me emergency escape tool right over there for quick access. And then in the door panel, I have additional storage. So I have storage for two different modules, which we're going to be covering in this video. The first module that you see here is for vehicle documents. So things like your proof of insurance, your registration, if you were to get a fender bender and need to trade info, pen, paper, stuff like that. So we'll cover that in this particular video. And we'll also go into the second module, which I keep in the door panel, and this is more of an electronics module. So the items in here are going to be mainly for entertainment, so going with the stereo system, so for music and things like that. And then the main objective is to keep my cell phone charged at all times. So while I do have a cell phone charger that I have access to in the car, I want to have multiple methods for keeping my cell phone charged, just because it's such a vital part of my person EDC. So we're going to be covering both of these modules in addition to the EDC Organizer in this video for driver's side Tier 1. Let's start off first with the Visor Organizer. This particular one is made by Go Gear. There's a few different options for Visor Organizers. I'm just going with this one for right now. I'm also testing one made by Cocoon that has more of a grid pattern to it. I kind of wish that Vanquest would just come out with a Visor Organizer with the bright orange fabric and the maximizer webbing, but until then I'll just rock this one for a little bit. So starting up here on the top, we just have a pen, a very cheap pen. I no longer store fancy pens in the vehicle because they always end up going missing, and I hate when that happens, so now I just have the cheap ones that I get in bulk. So this particular organizer has a few different mesh pocket areas, a small one over here, they have one in the back, and then a sleeve. And so everything I have in here is fairly low profile, so it doesn't really stick the visor down more than I want it to. So right up here in the front, you see we have a Washington state map. I think it's good to have this size map of whatever state or region that you happen to live in. And I also have a map, a larger map that's more for the backgrounds and everything, that's stored in the back of the vehicle. This one's just your basic state map. Over here, I just have a tire gauge. This one particular one is made by Milton, and it's just very simple tire gauge. This was actually my secondary tire gauge. I have my primary one in the tools module for the vehicle. So let's move on next to this front pocket area. In the front over here, I just have some gum picks. These are just, instead of flossing, which usually requires two hands, I just use the gum picks now while driving before going to the office or a business type thing. I want to make sure the teeth are clean. So just some gum picks. This next item over here, I saw this on probably the most disgusting commercial I've ever seen in my life, but this particular product is called Dude Wipes, and it's basically like a baby wipe, an individual baby wipe, and it's kind of packaged and advertised for guys to use. But I actually use it more for kid prepper, and when I'm out and about, I don't want to carry a big pack of baby wipes with me. I just carry the one individual one, or maybe two of them, and they go right in your pocket. And they work really well, and for the dudes, if you want to use them, you could use it for yourself too, but mainly for baby purposes. And then last over here, I just carry a small amount of cash in the visor. I think I've settled on $7 as my vehicle dollars. If it were to get taken, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But I like having this for in urban environments. I never know when there's going to be some kind of valet service or when I might need to tip someone and I don't happen to have cash in my wallet. I know that I have a little backup over here for any kind of tip for like a valet or anything like that, which I don't do often, but sometimes it happens. Next over here in the back, I have, you've seen this before, this is just a nice little, it has a magnetic clip on it, and it's kind of like a little shop light made by Larry. It's by Nebo, actually. It's the Larry flashlight. It has a real nice beam to it. You can't really do it justice here on the table. And what I like about it is that you have this magnetic swivel clip over here, so you could attach it to whatever and you could swivel it like that. It works really great for a vehicle if you're doing any kind of repair stuff. Oftentimes I just keep it in my mouth and I use it kind of like a headlamp in that way. And then last over here, I just have some gum just to keep the breath fresh. So this particular one's extra, the one I like. And those are all the items that I keep in this Visor Organizer. Again, I kept it pretty low profile, not too much stuff in here, but I'm sure that you guys will have some recommendations on other additional items that could be included. The next module to go over is for my vehicle documents, and I like storing this in the door panel on the driver's side just because it's available for immediate access. I don't want to have to be reaching under the seat for this or going in the glove box. If I was a police officer and I was approaching a vehicle, that would make me nervous if I saw somebody doing that, so I just want to have it ready to go if need be. So this particular the module is made by High Road. It's designed kind of as a vehicle documents storage. And so this particular zippered area, I reserve this for receipts when I'm out and about, restaurant, any kind of a vehicle type receipts that I may have. And so right now I have it blank because I don't want you guys seeing all the receipts. Another pen over here, El Cheapo version, just because in case they go missing. And inside of here we just have just basic vehicle documentation. So I have some of the vehicle user guide, warranty stuff, manual, things like that. Again, another pen over here. They go missing all the time. I have a little notepad over here just with some standard paper for if you were to get any kind of fender bender, if I need to jot down notes, if I need to log miles for tax purposes. It's just always good to have paper nearby. So it's just a basic notepad. And then over here is where I reserve all of my documents like the vehicle registration, proof of insurance, and I also have the handicap sign over here for when we're taking honeygram or the grandparents out and they want to have immediate parking. We have that available. This particular pocket here is designed to have kind of your name and address and whatever. I actually don't keep that in here. I do keep it in there, but in front of it is where I keep some of the phone numbers that I want to have on hand, just in case I were to forget them or didn't have my smartphone and I just needed to have them quickly available. But I removed it for this particular video because I don't want you guys prank calling my mom. So for right now it's just blank like that, but I prefer having just a set of numbers over here, including AAA, which I think is probably one of the more important preps to have for vehicles. And that's everything that's in this vehicle documents module. This is the electronics module for my vehicle. It's stored in an Amazon Basics electronics case, and the main purpose for this particular module, number one, is for entertainment purposes, so for music, with the stereo system, having the auxiliary cable, the MP3s, things like that. And then the second purpose is to ensure that my smartphone is always charged, so having those power cables, additional batteries, things like that, any kind of electronics, devices that require batteries, flashlights, things like that, I want to make sure that I have batteries for those. So again, all very basic stuff in here, but I feel that it's all important tier 1 type items. So let's open it up really quick. So this case is kind of nice. It has the bright orange interior in here. So where do we start? Let's start over here on the right. So basically I have my charger that goes into the cigarette lighter. This particular one is made by Anker. It's the Anker car charger. It's really nice. It has 2 ports on it. It has that IQ power, so a very efficient charging to your smartphone device. And then I have an Anker cable over here. This is one of their nicer cables. It's around $5 or so, but it's nicer than a lot of the stock cables. It kind of has almost like a cloth type material to it, so it works really nice, real durable. And so I use that mainly for charging the smartphone. So an Anker charger. So next over here, these 2 zippered areas, I could fit some more stuff in the back here, but I don't right now. These next 2 zippered areas are just for batteries. So I have some batteries over here. I have my AA batteries, and then the bottom one, I have some AAA batteries. And then I also have some smaller batteries. These are the CR2032, which are going to be used for some items that are included in my signaling module, which we'll see in a future video. So that's just the backup batteries for there. So I have a few AA batteries, some AAA batteries, and then some specialty batteries for some of the items. Now let's move on to the left-hand side. So some of the initial items in here are some additional cables. One of the cables is auxiliary cable for the MP3 player. So this one is made by IXCC. I have this in a few different kits. I really like them. And so it's included with this electronics module. And then I have an additional one of those Anker USB micro cables that goes along with the car charger as well. So I could have two devices charging using the Anker charger for the cigarette lighter. So in addition to those cables there, we have the old school iPod. With a lot of different music on here. As you can see, it's seen better days, but it still works, so we still include it, and this has a large amount of music on there. And then last over here, again, I want to make sure that I always have a charge to my smartphone. I think it's probably the more primary parts of my EDC, and I always want to make sure it has a charge on here. So if I'm not in the car, I could charge it outside of the car as well. And this is, again, another Anker product. I recently did a review of the Anker PowerCore Plus 26,800 milliamp hour 3-port battery. This one is the 10,000 milliamp version of the PowerCore Plus. After I got the larger one, I liked it so much I wanted to make sure I had the smaller one, and so I got that. So the smaller one is the same kind of kit. Let's open it up really quick, but it's much smaller, as you see here. So again, 10,000 milliamp hours. It's in comparison to its big brother over there. And then it also comes again with the Qualcomm Quick Charge 2.0 for charging this very quickly. There's an additional cable in there, lots of cables in this particular module, and this is mainly for keeping that smartphone charged. So I always make sure that this has a charge on here, a full charge ready to go if need be. So if I'm not in the car charging with a cigarette lighter, I could be out and about with a small little Anker battery, and it's, the PowerCore Plus is just an awesome product line. And those are all the items included in the electronics module. That's going to do it for this video featuring Tier 1 driver side of my Vehicle Preps video series. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching it. So again, this was all very practical items that I keep in my driver side, the stuff that I'm going to be using the most often during my commute or during family errands and things like that. Nothing too crazy in here, but I think that all of it's still very important, just like your Tier 1 of your EDC on your person would be, where you're talking about your wallet, your watch, your phone. That's all very basic stuff. And so as we start going back through the tiers and the different priorities levels, we'll start seeing some more of that emergency gear. So I've included a PDF document that you could download by clicking the link in the description box below. It has a list of all the items that were covered in this video, including all the items of the different modules. So the vehicle documents module, the electronics module, also the EDC Visor Organizer. So that's all listed in detail, and you can download that in the description box below. So please leave a comment below in the comment section regarding what kind of items you like having in your general Tier 1 driver seat area. I'd be curious to see the type of items that you want to choose to have in this particular area of your vehicle. So stay tuned for the next video in this Vehicle Preps video series, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching this one. See you guys.